Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I'm up here talk with Brayon Ketty to talk about Batman, the animated series. And this week's episode is Growing Pains without the fucking Canadian actor that I can't think of his name now that I fucked up my joke. How you doing today, sir?
This episode broke me, dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't see this episode earlier. Yeah, like in this initial run. Yeah,
Holy crap. I mean, good holy crap, but
yeah,
holy crap.
yeah. But as I said, this week's episode is Growing Pains. It is the eighth episode produced and the eighth episode to air of the new Batman Adventures, and it aired February 28th, 1998. So it wasn't a leap year this year. Yeah, so it was the last day of February of 1998. Remember what you're doing February 8th, 1998?
I'm
February
gonna
20th?
wager I was tobogganing somewhere.
Yeah, I was probably trying not to fucking freeze my balls off too. Yeah. It was 1998. No, I think started working in Tim Hortons in 99, so that I had the following year. In the so I probably would have been grade 11, I think, at this point. Or grade 11 or no, 98, so I think grade 12, I think. But anyway, yes, and shit, I didn't write this down, but it was written by Robert Goodman, and a story by Paul Dini and Robert Goodman, and directed by, and I hope I'm not butchering this person's name, but Atsuko Tanaka.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I wondered if there was a little bit of an anime vibe to like at least the art design.
yeah,
Uh,
because I think with the, actually, I'll get into it when I mention it because I don't want to spoil
yeah,
it right
don't go
now,
too deep yet.
but yeah, so I think definitely with certain spots, yeah, there's definitely anime influences, I think.
Yeah. This has been listed for a lot of people as one of their favorite BTOS episodes, and you guys will steadily figure out why, because this is a bit of a gut punch of an episode.
Yes. And I think it starts off with the this that little girl is probably what 11, 12 years old or
Something
so.
like that.
I'd say maybe at most like an early teen or probably preteen at most.
Hmm.
Which with that I thought I felt was weird because she ends up going by a couple of the I guess motorcycle punks. I guess
Hmm.
is the best term for these guys. And they're just like, ooh, a 12-year-old girl, let's menace her like motorcyclingly and just kind of started like driving around her and stuff. She's all scared, and then friggin' Robin shows up like by himself, not with Batman, but like so I guess he's doing Robin specific patrols, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Robin probably like by Bruce's initiation says like, okay, this is the quote easy part of town. So, just keep your eye out on these guys might be doing drug deals or, like the biker gangs and stuff. And while you're doing that, I'm, fighting Mr. Freeze.
But I still feel like he's still a little too new to this whole thing to be patrolling himself, though.
Yeah.
Even if it is like the early part of town, I like that, yeah, not early part of town, but the easy part of town. Because I not be necessarily age wise, just because he's doing this for like 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah. And as the episode kind of expands forward, I'm kind of lost a little bit of where it falls on like the chronological timeline of the show lineup, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. So then he comes up and he tries to tell him to back off and stuff. And I'm not sure if I would take any Robin seriously or be intimidated by any Robin.
Hmm.
Up to including Damien. I just think he's a fucking punk, play like 11-year-old. But yeah, he'd be able to afterwards. Like he probably would like wouldn't think twice and kick my ass, but like because he's being trained by the League of Assassins and whatnot. But like not saying that he couldn't do it, but like
Yeah.
especially him, I wouldn't be intimidated by like maybe like when when Dick became Nightwing, but he's not really Robin at that point anymore. So
Yeah.
So some 12-year-old kid dressed like that was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come and do what I say. I'm gonna kick your ass." And you're like, "Yeah, get the fuck away from me, kid."
Yeah. Oh no, Robin.
Yeah, and it's just like that. You hold your hand out on the forehead, and you just see the arms like flailing, trying to hit you.
Yeah. Like
You're just like,
that was like I liked his introduction in the that live action Titan series because like they're like, oh no, that means Batman's far behind or not far behind, and he's just like, oh, you don't have to worry about Batman, and just beats the shit out of them and like grinds their faces against shards of broken glass. It's like Robin will F you up.
yeah. Yeah, I thought you were going to say like the bad part of that whole thing is really you first see him and he just says like "fuck Batman," which I which I like the advertising for that show for that before it came out I think ran with that a little too much and because I wasn't really the tone of the show as a whole I didn't think
No, yeah.
so and I think and with that I think that kind of turned a handful of people off because of that sort of thing. And just say because that felt like out of place and whatnot. But okay, because I know what they were trying to do, just to try and like differentiate, and just be like, hey, make sure, like, yeah, even though you eventually did
This
show up,
ain't your kids, Robin.
yeah, or
Your
just
daddy's Robin.
or just I was gonna say just more so like, yeah, Batman's not going to show up, but he showed up as Bruce, and then did. Did he ever show Bruce in the suit, or is it as Batman, or is it just
In
Bruce?
a hallucination
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do, but
yeah.
then they very conveniently only show Sir Friendzone as Bruce Wayne.
But yeah, so like so I think that was just more so just to you know make sure everyone knew that Batman this wasn't Batman but like the others.
Yeah.
And I think that with the rest of the advertising I think they corrected on it but yeah but for the introduction leading up to the show I think that was very poor ad campaign I think to
But
focus on that.
going back to Tim here, what'd you think of when Tim grabbed the garbage can and chucked it at the wheel of the cyclist?
Yeah. Or first, like, actually, they take care of those guys pretty good, and then when the big guy shows up, yeah, like I was like, even if if he didn't have powers, like that, this Robin's not fucking doing anything to this guy,
Yeah.
because that guy's fucking bigger than I am.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, that
think
guy
he
was
just
humongous.
I think they do. But was it by the arms or by the head? I think he just ended up picking up Robin, and it was just like, "Fuck you, kid. We're not doing
Oh,
this."
that yeah. Yeah, he pretty much manhandled Robin.
Like, yeah, because I think this is like that so far. Like, I think yeah, this Robin's like definitely smaller than Dick. I think
Yeah.
when he was first starting off.
So yeah, Robin he manages to take care of the gang and he turns to the girl and he's just like, "Are you okay?" And she's like running off into like the dark alley and he's just like, "Wait, like do you need help?" And I think she manages to elude him, right? Like she just kind of like takes off before he can like an answer about like what's going on.
Yeah. I think it just goes around a corner and then like disappears, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And when he's like, lost track of her, that's when the bad signal appears in the sky. It's like, all right, fine, I'll go over there. So,
I guess.
yeah. And then we got to Gordon's office where, yeah, as you had mentioned, Gordon and Batman are looking over a computer at this CCTV footage. And Gordon's like, this new guy's showing up in Gotham. And, he's completely new. We don't have like a file on him, but like he's huge and he seems like your MO kind of, like response. So this
And,
guy
and
is
then even
humongous.
yeah, and then even Batman said like I is like he's new to me even I don't know who this guy is so he must be pretty new to Gotham. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
But
they show like footage of him like picking up like an entire like store countertop and like smashing it.
yeah, because I was almost waiting for one of them to say like maybe he's on like Venom or something.
That's what I thought. It was a good red herring here because I'm like, oh, so they're going for the
Yeah,
Bane route. So
yeah. So they initially, yeah, because like when Gordon said like, yeah, this guy's like super strong, and he showed that in the clip, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, I naturally because I know like in Batman Beyond, like they do bring up Bane. Like I think it was only the one episode, but because
Yeah.
there was like a Venom on the streets or whatever, so
The
I figured.
slappers.
Yeah, was that what they were called?
Yeah, because it's like a nicotine patch that they slap on your
Ah,
shoulder.
oh fuck yeah! It's yeah. I only went through that show once, and that was probably about yeah. I think when I first moved to Newmarket, so yeah, so about like 15 years ago. Yes, I need to might need to watch it again. So
Yeah. And the one thing that they make note of when they're looking at this guy is like he's got completely big blank white eyes. So like that's a little weird. I mean, considering the rest of him, that's one observation, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because I think yeah, I think Gordon does mention the eyes. Yeah, yeah, like even those eyes are crazy or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love Gordon's exchange here where he's just like, where does he somebody get a face like that? And Robin's off in the side of the room just looking out the window. He's like, just luck, I guess. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, 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 and they both kind of look over like what, and he's like, "Oh shit, sorry, I was thinking about a girl."
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
yeah,
Gordon's like,
yeah, because I wonder how much socializing does he actually get? Does he actually send him to school?
he sends him to school, but I feel like, well, we've established he sends him to school, but I feel like it's like school ends at like 3:30 and you better be home by like 3:40.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. It takes you fucking 7 minutes, like 2 minutes to fucking put your shoes on. To know it takes 7 minutes to walk from there to here.
Yeah.
Fucking get the fuck home.
Yeah. It's either that or he starts hitting on Barbara. So, yeah. And speaking of which, that's when Gordon's like, teenagers, I'm just glad my Barbara's out of those crazy years. And Batman gives him this side
Yeah.
look like, yeah, right.
I feel you might learn about that sooner than later.
Yeah. And so later on, they've left Gordon's office and Batman and Robin are talking and Robin's expanding on about the girl. And he says, she needed help. Like, we should probably like see if we can find her. And Batman's just like, get your head in the game. Like,
Yeah, I know you're a preteen who's just starting to get their hormones, but fucking get your head in the game, kid. This is the no girls club. Well, what about Catwoman? I said girls. There's allowed one, and it's for
yeah.
me. Oh,
Is she called Cat Girl? I don't think so.
I just said it, and she's for me. I shouldn't say it.
You know those emotions you have when you fall in love? I want you to bury those deep, deep down.
And then so you can be just like me. Are you sure about just like me?
Damn right.
Aw.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Batgirl, start putting on this Catwoman suit.
Oh no. Dang it. Stop trying to get me to hook up with my sister, Bruce. Or I'm gonna tell Gordon. Yeah, so later on, Batman basically says like, put her out of your mind, like focus on the job. And later that day, or I guess like the following day, because it's daytime, Alfred's driving Tim, I'm assuming home from school, and Tim's just kind of like sulking. He's just like, I don't understand. Like he keeps treating me like a kid. Alfred's like, no shit, you are a kid.
What was that 12-year-old? Would you say?
Yeah. It's like, consider yourself lucky that I haven't called child services on Bruce's ass for all the stuff he puts you through. And so, yeah, Tim's just kind of like, like Batman doesn't get it.
Just don't ask about the second Robin. I mean, you're the second Robin.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they call Zatanna. It's like, I want you to make sure that he forgets all mention of the words Jason and Todd.
Yeah, yeah, we need you to pull Doctor Strange on us.
Yeah. So, yeah, he is, like they're driving down the street and, Tim sees, the girl that he saw earlier just walking and he's like, hey, stop the car. And Alfred's like, what? He's like, I'm a go. So he's got like the Robin gear already in his backpack and like dresses it up. And he's like, Master Bruce told me to drive you straight home, Master Timothy. He's like, Master Timothy has left the building. And so he like runs off, and Alfred's like, all right, fine. Calls up Bruce. I'm totally gonna knock on this kid.
You know that stuff he said told him not to do. He's totally doing it,
Yep.
and he's running after that girl.
Yep.
I
Come
told you
on.
this would. I told you this would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, so he finds this girl in like it's like a bus terminal or like a train station, and she's he's trying to like figure out like, hey, like what's going on? Like, why are you still running around? Like, we took care of the thugs, and she says, like I'm not running from those bikers. I'm running from someone else. I'm running away from oh yeah. Well, she doesn't know really who he is, but yeah, because like she's clearly got some memory loss that's kind of established in this scene. But she does know that this scary guy's been following her, and she says like he even follows me in my nightmares. I'm like, Freddy Krueger shit going down here, like.
Yeah, just waiting for him to come around the corner and like, here I am, bitch. Ha.
Well, actually, as he's before they see the guy, Tim's just like, okay, like like calm down. Let's start with your name. I don't remember my name. Like, oh, okay. Well, that's all right. We'll pick a name for you. And he's like, how about? And there's this girl with a Raggedy Ann doll, and he's just like, how about Raggedy?
I thought they were going like Dolly. I
Oh
was like,
no,
please, please don't have a better imagination than that, Robin. I hope.
I know. I'll call you Orphan Annie. It's okay.
Yes,
My parents are dead too.
yeah. So that yes, that was a better name than I was initially thought he was going to go with. Yeah.
Yeah. So then she starts like all of a sudden, like after accepting the name, she starts freaking out. And Robin's just like, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Oh. Is it bad that I think I almost like the Alien Night Farm version better?
Yeah. Shimona. So yeah, she's just like, the man who's looking for me, he's right over there. And they look in this like kind of shadowy alley in the terminal, and that's when Robin sees it's the guy from the CCTV footage that they saw earlier. And so that's when he steps forward, and he's just like, he said, like, get away from her. He's like, get away from, I'm supposed to get away from her? How about she gets trying to get away from you? Who the hell do you think you are? He says, I'm her father.
He's like, yeah, you're just some random kid in a costume, man. Like, who the fuck are you, kid?
Yeah. And this guy, again, like we had established like his like strength level, but this guy smashes a bench like with like a casual brush of his hand. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then what happens after that? I forget.
He picks up Robin, and Robin's just kind of like struggling to get free.
Oh yeah, this is the first fight with him. Yeah, okay, I did that together with the biker ones earlier.
Yeah, and that's when Batman swings in. He's I guess like
Oh
found
yeah,
Robin.
he's like, yeah, he finally shows up. He's like, get away from him, and fucking
Yeah,
swings in.
yeah. And so they get into a fight, and yeah, like you see, not only is this guy like super strong, but like he is inhumanly strong because at one point, like he keeps on disappearing as they're like trying to chase him down, and at one point, Robin sees that he's like on the top of like I'm assuming this is a construction site or like a multi-story like parking garage, and he's on like what like the fourth or fifth story of this thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Jumps off, lands on his feet, unfazed.
yeah. Just kind of, it's like you hear like like a solid like landing or whatever, and it kind of runs off, and Robin's just kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it is Gotham.
But yeah, but even then, like I think that's yeah, even for Gotham, it's a bit on the street. You wouldn't expect something like that. You expect people to be crazy and stuff, but not like Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like crack or something.
Yeah, so he manages to get away, and like Batman figures that he's like gone through like a sewer grate, and then later on they return to the scene where like he first appeared, and Batman sees these like things of soil samples that are like near the smashed up bench that he was near, and starts like
Yeah,
putting them into bags.
yeah, and then I think that now that Robin's just like, kind of gets a little uppity, and he's just like, "What are you doing? We need to go save her or whatever. Like, where'd the girl go?" Because I think they said for her to stay there as they went looking for him,
Yeah, that's right.
and then they're like, "We need to save her," and all this stuff, and he starts like freaking out, and Batman's like, "No, we need to do Batman stuff to figure this shit out. And you can't get this like you just gotta run off randomly and try and find
Damn
her."
it,
Like,
you're too young to date. But hey,
no.
too young to date, but just old enough to throw you at street criminals and the Joker.
Okay, yeah, don't never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke. So that's not appropriate. So
Yeah. I
don't
love
want
though
to.
Robin's joke or now his line here is just like I'm not go because Batman says it's time to go home. He's like, I'm not going home. I'm not going back to help you study dirt. Like somebody's like trying to get their life like saved. And so he runs off, and Batman pulls a Willy Wonka of, no, stop, come back.
And he's like, why? He's like, why do I deal with these fucking kids again for?
Yeah. Well, that's right. They're cannon fodder.
Who's fucking? Oh yeah, it was mine. Fuck.
Yeah.
I keep on forgetting. Damn it.
Yeah.
This is the last one, especially after what happened to the fucking last one.
Yeah. Yeah. So Robin is like patrolling the street, and he eventually does find Annie, and he goes to, like say like, why do you keep running away? She's like, the guy's trying to kill me. It's like, oh yeah.
You saw what just happened. Like, yeah.
Yeah. There's a nice like moment between the two though, where and he's like, "Why do you like keep trying to save me?" And he's like, like I get what it's like to have a bad dad. My dad was a bit of a scumbag, so it's something I can relate with you with." And she's like, "Aw, that's sweet." Kisses him, and it's a very like tender moment until we find out later what happens. But we'll get there. I did want to make mention of this because okay, so there's a sign on a top of a skyscraper with a big light that she's drawn to, and the sign says Kane. Is this her way of referencing Kate Kane, like Batwoman, or Bob Kane?
Yeah. If anything, Bob King, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Bob Kane. Yeah, but it was very like it was in your face. I'm like, okay, like Citizen Kane, like what the hell are we doing here? Like, but she sees the light and she's like, I remember something now, a big tower with a light. Ramon's like, I couldn't imagine what that is. How about we take you to the lighthouse?
Well, it is Gotham, so how many fucking tall buildings with lights on top of them are like really? And if you're having like a bad
Actually, that's a good point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that'd be like saying like, yeah, down and draw, like look at the tall thing with the light on top of it. Like,
He
can
takes her to the bat signal and she's like, this doesn't tell me anything.
be like, can he just narrow down just a tiny bit?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, they go to the lighthouse, and of course, that's for the sake of the plot, that's exactly where she was remembering. And she sees these like rocks and pipes and stuff, and she's like, I remember now. I came out of those rocks, and the rocks were from the water, and the water was from the pipe. And so they climb into this like out. It's like a dumping pipe from like a factory or
Yeah,
something.
just like the waste like flow or whatever, the outer flows, or whatever, the big Gotham companies that like just like pump out their shit into the into the water
Yes,
and stuff
Gotham
actually.
companies, not like those real world companies.
And then too, yeah, and I think if you remember, the last episode of who the villain was, and it is kind of I think it's kind of reminiscent of the factory that the where he went into the water was. No,
Of
or yeah,
wasn't the last
like
episode Joker's Millions?
no, not the last episode, but the last episode with the villain in it.
Oh, right. I gotcha. I understood that reference.
So, but yeah, so they're walking in there, and then they're talking, and then you would think, yeah, it seemed to be lit well enough that they should have seen the
Hang
the
on.
down. So,
Before we go there, we got Batman back in the Batcave because he's looking at the mud.
okay, yeah, so that's
Yeah.
happening.
Well, because that's where we got this funny scene of Alfred saying, like, just so you know, Tim hates your ass because, you're a bit of a overprotective parent. And Bruce is like, I'd, like to have a parent, but I guess that sucks for him. I'd even love two parents, but, that's not the cards for me.
Like
And
what? He's like, "What, Master Bruce? I'm not good enough for you."
no, you're not. For one, you're British. I'm American. I tried to teach you British words. Bloody wanker.
Nobody's like with British words.
Yeah. But I love that like Alfred has essentially become like a mediator for like dysfunctional family squabbles. Like no wonder he's on drugs. And so as Bruce is like looking at the waiting for the analysis of the lab results to come back, Alfred's saying something along the lines of like, "Oh, there's that tracker that you put into Robin's belt. Maybe you could use that to find him." And so it's like, how many trackers does he have? Like, does he have like that's the thing is like Batman is notorious for not having a tracker on himself if the Bat family needs to find him. But damn it, if he hasn't put one in like, you know, Tim's bloodstream, probably like in like Nightwing's like upper molar, probably put one in Alfred's ass.
So I'd say like usually like probably one in each like shoe or whatever, like footwear, one in the belt, and then and maybe like in the cowl. Yeah, I was gonna say cowl, but he only has the domino mask. So maybe there's one woven into the domino mask too, even. So
Yeah, get
imagine he,
lots of EMF like right in your cranium.
yeah. So I imagine he probably has at least 3 to 5 on him.
Yeah.
I would say.
And so the
Yeah,
analysis.
because I wouldn't trust I wouldn't trust a fucking 12-year-old with Robin skills running
Yeah.
around Gotham, yeah, by himself.
So the analysis comes back and Batman just kind of goes, "Oh no." I love this line here
Yeah, he's like,
because
I guess I think even Alfred was saying like you're trying to figure out who like Daddy is. And I think he's like I think I
I
just
know
nailed it.
who Daddy is.
Yeah, yeah,
So we're about to find out who Daddy is because Robin and Annie are going through the pipe, and Annie just says, "He's here." And so all of a sudden, walking out of the shadows is that big guy who slowly morphs into.
yeah. Clayface, yeah. And what do you think of the new like transition from like like human form to his like normal form?
I like it. I think
Mm.
that's the thing. Like, I think that the animation in this episode is very good. Considering like they are trying to make like the transformation scenes look like pretty like how do I put it? Very fantastical is the term I would
Yeah,
use.
because I for that likened it more that there was like more of like a like magical like thing like a view to make the person view you differently, and it was kind of wearing off that sort of thing instead of from actually transforming from that from human form into Matt Hagen form, and I kind of didn't like it.
So this is where I'm a little confused. Is this episode supposed to take place before Holiday Nights? Because we already know that Clayface is alive.
Oh, and what happened in the Holiday Nights again?
That's when he was trying to rob a Christmas department store when Bullock was playing Bad Santa.
Oh yeah, so yeah, eh, yeah, no, I actually I forgot about that. I forgot about
Bruce, Tim, and Paul Dini need to sit down with a freaking timeline, man. They're not Chris Nolan.
Well, it's the thing. You just say I kind of said it's all happening all the time. So like it could have. Uh,
I demand order. This is not lawless animation. What do you think this is? A cartoon?
it's almost like 12-year-olds, like 12-year-olds are thinking this sort of thing.
I was when I was 12 years old.
Hell, even it's my like profession now. I wasn't even thinking that when I was watching this. I guess it's 18. Yeah. So yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess still being it's still even a 12-year-old. Yeah. So, but
Yeah. So yeah, he's like basically saying, get away from her, like she's my daughter or something like that. Which I mean, Tim should already be kind of like putting a little bit of the pieces together, like what's about to unfold. But I do like as he's basically
yeah.
saying like Annie
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Because you were saying she had said a couple of times where you're like, she could feel the bad who ended up being, her father and that it's Clayface or whatever. Like, as it is, because that's her at the airport. That's where she was able to point down like the dark hallway
I
and
sense a
earlier.
disturbance in the clay.
Yeah, it was so you should have but of course also too like we said many a time that he actually is like hidden doesn't it isn't the budding detective Robin out of the Robins that he's had so
Yeah.
so uh, so yeah kind of in theory you would think that but of course us looking at the show but like because he's 12 he's not the smart head like yeah, you go with he's probably not the smartest yet still.
Yeah.
It'd be because I was a fucking dumbass at 12 years old. Yeah,
Yeah.
even friggin' at 42 years old, I'm still a fucking I was still a dumbass. So
That's just the lead in the drinking water.
I told you not to talk about that.
No, the government told me not to talk about that. So, yeah, they're like running away from it. And I love like the design of like Clayface is like using like he's turning into like metal forks and
Yeah, yeah.
the
So yes, as we were mentioned earlier, yeah, like this part is you can definitely tell like that it seemed like anime-ish. Yeah, I guess with this he seemed to be like has like better mastery over his like goo form and to be able
yeah,
to make stuff or whatever in this fight than because before he would just like shoot off a couple like rounds of goo and that's kind of like be like maybe like
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
you heard me. And stuff, and like it would have like maybe use like maybe like has like a whip form, and like maybe like use like a big hammer sort of thing, or but a couple simple forms and stuff. But yeah, I think he's had a bit more practice
Yeah.
this time around. Yeah,
So yeah, Robin and Annie like kind of run out of the out of his like reach, and Annie gets splattered on by a bit of Clayface's like clay like paste, and as they're kind of like catching their breath up in this, it's essentially like a factory that they're inside now. And Annie is like looking at her hand as Robin's like looking around the corner to make sure he's not following them. And you just see the mud sink into her hand. And
yeah, that T1000 style at the
yeah,
at the I guess metal factory or wherever at the end of T2. Yeah, where
yeah,
where the one piece or like that piece earlier where where he's like running after the car and kind of hooks into it, yeah, and they shoot the hook part off to get him off. And he kind of walks up to it off her, and it kind of goes and goes into his
yeah.
foot.
So yeah, Annie just looks at her hand and she just has like a expression of like lowering her head as she goes,
And she was like,
I
"Well,
remember now.
and yeah, I think Robin might ask her what's wrong," and she was like, "Yeah, I remember now, yeah." And then it goes to back to the outside in the factory and stuff. Yeah, like a memory, and she's like, "Yeah, I remember." Yeah, Clayface was ended up in the water or whatever, and then he ended up floating to where the pipes entered and whatever is in there, kind of was able to help him re-solidify
Yep.
because yeah and whatnot because like now that I'm remembering now yeah like the end of the last episode that Clayface was in yeah I think he was like chasing after Batman like away from like a water source or something, and then
He
it's
like slid off the cliff into the
yeah,
bay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
Then it's I think yeah, it started to rain, and then they were starting to uh, yeah, like yeah, make him like a little bit too gooey, and then then falls off the cliff and goes into the water, yeah, and then just kind of permeates into the water, sort of thing, yeah. So yeah, so then whatever is in that, so I guess that leads us to believe that like the factories probably like had some of like the chemicals and it was like what like was the same chemicals that like kind of made him Clayface, I
Either
guess.
that or something. They made it sound like something in the chemicals was like a bonding agent for him.
Yes, yeah, so yeah, but yeah, I just kind of took like that they're just kind of like it was the same chemical that makeup or close to that he was before to help him
Yeah.
re-solidify that he was still weak enough so that yeah, so he made like made her to go out just to see if see if the heat's died down. If be like, has anybody mentioned Matt Hagen? They think he's still alive. To see if it's okay to go there. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, yep. And then then as she got too far away, I guess it's which I guess like made her forget. But if if getting too far away takes away the connection, or whatever. Would you not think that the body would just kind of revert back to like a clump of goo,
That's a good point.
so you could just reabsorb her?
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that would stand to logic.
Yeah, because you think that would be all in the same thing, right? Because not like a memory, and then uh,
Yeah.
because at one point they seemed to be far enough away that they even like yeah, you shouldn't be able to have that whatever like, connection or so. That but yeah, I thought that was weird, but oh.
Yeah. And just if the listeners haven't figured it out, when like Andy's just kind of like looking at her hand, and she says like I remember who I am now, and Robin says I don't. Like, why does Clayface want you? And she says because I am Clayface. Pause for dramatic effect.
Yeah, we're all Clayface.
Yeah, it's the Clayfaces we found along the way. I'm just picturing Robin's thinking in his head, Clayface kissed me?
I was like, I kiss Clayface. Ah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
He's throwing up one because Clayface kissed him, and two because of the cancer he now has. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, but yeah, like you're a living human being. He's like, I'm not real. And it's just, you can see he is struggling to accept like what's kind of being told to him. He's like, no, like you're not him. It's kind of wild. Like, and again,
But you're kind of cute. You can't be him.
yeah, I can take any form I want to because I'm Clayface. It's like, yeah, but we can make this work. It's like, it wouldn't be the weirdest relationship that's ever existed in Gotham. Like, he's not wrong.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I'd go for Clayface. So
No.
I don't think he's quite my type.
Yeah. Might I remind you of the cancer?
And that goo doesn't give you cancer. What are you talking about?
Clayface is radioactive, dude. That's a thing in the comics.
Well, this is yeah. Well, this well, not this version though.
You don't know that.
Well, neither do you.
Hey, Reed, I got a question for you. We're settling this. Yeah, no, it was never established, but just for the sake of comedy, I was like, like, how is the Geiger counter going off on this guy every time he walks through a room? Like,
So yeah. Then I think and when does Batman show up? Is like right then, or is it like after?
not quite yet, because yeah, Clayface has managed to find them, and he's like saying to Annie, like, okay, Sweat. Yeah, this is kind of a thing of like, and it's like a toxic parent who's basically looking at their child like, you're my property, like you belong to me. And essentially kind of the mentality that Clayface is taking. It's like, why do you care? Like, because it's not like it's affecting him. It's just a matter of, he's just almost insulted that she's refusing to listen to him. And so yeah, Annie's just told like you'll never be whole if you're not like one with me. I'm like, that's kind of weird. I mean, I get what they're saying, but like it's kind of a dark way to kind of put it. And so yeah, Clayface tries to to fight Robin. And like you realize again, like we started out with like Clayface is like a tragic character. Like he has become a monster in every sense of the word by this point.
Well, yeah, because it's probably the same as like the same sort of idea with, I guess, Dr. Manhattan. That for a while, that you stop being human, you kind of
Hmm.
lose touch with your humanity, sort of thing, right? So,
Yeah. And that's where this scene comes forward that almost left me like devastated because as Clayface is about to kill Robin, and he says, "No, I won't let you hurt him." Clayface, or sorry, Annie dives into Clayface, and this animation was spectacular for all the wrong reasons. It looks like something out of like Spirited Away because Annie is being reabsorbed into Clayface and struggling to kind of fight for her life until she's completely swallowed up. And Tim is horrified watching this, as am I.
yeah, yeah, that even without the connection to like that he was like into her or stuff, yeah, that would be a weird thing to watch, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, she just like sinks beneath the surface and oh man, okay, we had talked about like yeah, like oh, it's Robin. What's Robin gonna do? But like Tim is livid. He is ready to kill Clayface. He's just like, bring her back. He's like, I can't. She's gone. And you just see him just getting violent with Clayface.
Hey, then yeah, like eventually it starts throwing a couple batarangs at him, and like one of them
Hmm.
hits like the big fat of whatever
Solvent.
that's it, whatever, yeah, it's all that's like there, and it then kind of splashes on the Clayface, so that only kind of recoils in pain, and then I think right, then I think Robin does clock that, and then he hits it again to try and pour some more onto him, and that kind of backs him up even more. And then I think this is when Batman shows up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because Batman realizes what he's doing. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
he doesn't know the whole context of the Annie situation, but well,
Yeah,
I guess he does.
well, in a way, but I guess he like comes in. And he's like, "Stop her, Robin. We need to make this look like an accident. If you fucking if we're in a if we're in a chemical factory and we're fighting the villain, it needs to look like accident, not like we're pushed him into the thing." That was jokingly said that, and then like then shortly after, like he says that, like he goes in, and then like the solvent thing that he hit ends up leaking even more and just ends up exploding the entire place. And Batman has grabs Robin and kind of back grapples up and stuff. And I was like, oh, I guess I guess they did make it look like an accident.
Yeah. The funniest bit though is when Clayface like is essentially blown up with the factory and then lands like far outside of it and he just hits the ground like an overcooked potato.
He's like full.
Boom. Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah. And this ending, oh my gosh. Like again, I think this is why they named the title of the episode Growing Pains because the police have arrived. They've got Clayface in like basically like a kind of like a tank, like to basically like, keep him, sedated and under control.
I
And
want to be sedated.
yeah. And Batman's just looking at Tim, who's just like kind of like reeling in shock of everything that's kind of happened and just almost numb to the experience. And he just says, sometimes there are no happy endings. Like sometimes like, you know, that this is the moral of the story for him is that and why he was trying to keep Robin from forming an attachment is that sometimes innocent people are the casualties in this war. Like my parents. Did I ever tell you about my parents?
Yeah, so what would you give this episode out of five clay children?
Well, before I get to that, I got to end on the last line here because it was like the button on the scene is when the cops are saying,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Okay.
what they're saying about like, okay, so we were charging him with the robbery and the breaking and entering. Anything else we should be putting on his rap? And Robin says, yeah, murder, and just walks away. And I was just like, you guys didn't need to go that hard. Like, dang, cut me right in the soul. But yeah, in terms of a rating, I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5. Like, this
Oh yeah.
is honestly one of my favorite episodes. And yeah, you guys are not prepared. If you watch this, like it's pretty for a very short episode in the grand scheme of things, it hits you right in the gut.
I think I'm gonna give it a. No, I don't think I liked it as much as you. I think I'll give it like a 3.5 out of 5. It was a decent another uh, continuation of the Clayface storyline. That kind of goes to show him that he's kind of descending further into you know not that he's losing his humanity a little bit, yeah, sort of thing and stuff. And I just got curious on how he was able to. Uh, like did she like because the kid kind of seemed like she had like her own like mind and stuff instead of being like kind of like being controlled like a hive mind sort of thing. So it's just maybe like curious on what they're thinking about that. But yeah, I think I'll give it. I think it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me as well. But that is the episode for this week. Thanks everyone for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman and the animated series. Next week's episode will be Love is a Crock. I wonder who's going to be in this episode. And they're also not wrong. I'm just kidding. Sarah, I love you. Yeah, you know I'm joking, Sarah, if you're listening, which she might be. So you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast. We are on YouTube now at youtube.com/at Beyond the Backcast. You can check us out there. Give us a rate, review, and subscribe on there, or wherever you find your podcasts at Beyond the Backcast. So you definitely help us out there. And where can we find you on the internet, Braden?
You can find me on my podcast, Fandom and Folklore, where we talk about fantasy movies and TV shows and the fandoms that follow them. And if you want to find out more about Beyond the Backcast, go to our Instagram, Beyond the Backcast, click on our link tree, and you can find a link to our Discord, The Batcave.
Yes. And you can follow me on my personal Instagram at Stump Chunkman. And as I thought, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman's animated series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.